Hey guys, so today's lesson is pretty short and sweet, and I know in the other lessons, there are some problems that you've done in the past, but then there's been some new stuff to kind of add on to that. This lesson, there shouldn't be anything that I talk about that you have not seen in the past in Algebra 1, maybe even going back to some of your pre-algebra stuff. But I did think it was important. I mean, being able to work with polynomials and being able to add them and multiply them become such a huge thing in all your math classes moving forward. And, the skills aren't really addressed after this lesson. They aren't really talked about. These are just things that are kind of understood that you should know. But I do think it's my duty to, just in case we have any gaps in our knowledge, to make sure that we have full understanding of how to add, subtract, multiply polynomials together, okay? So if you want to pause this and jot down these examples so you're not writing them out as I'm talking, you might want to pause it and just write these out because I don't have a note outline for this. Okay, so with polynomials, like I said, we're going to be talking about adding, we're going to be talking about subtracting, we're going to be talking about multiplying, all right? And I want you guys to remember, when you're adding polynomials, well, I'm going to do a real quick example here. If I said, what's 3x plus 2x, hopefully you would all say 5x, because that's correct. That's the hope. If I said, what's 3x squared plus 2x squared, this is one that more people miss. When you're adding or subtracting things, you have to have the same ending, but the ending stays the same. If you're adding 3x squared and 2x squared, you get 5x squared. Just something to keep in mind as we're doing a lot of this work, but that's kind of a misconception and mistake that some students make. Okay, so going back up, when you're adding, make sure you're looking for like terms. You're not just looking for the first term. You can't add 10x cubed and 5x squared together. It's impossible to combine those things. So don't try. It's not 15x to the fifth. There's nothing you can do. So we are going to combine 10x cubed and negative 3x cubed and get 7x cubed. Then we look for our x squareds. 4x squared and 5x squared is 9x squared. And then I look for any x's, and I see one way over here. It's kind of misleading, but there's a plus x over here. And then there's a minus 6 right here on the end. And that's it. Once we get here, that's our final answer. There's really nothing else we can do. Sometimes you're going to have numbers in front of parentheses to begin with, and step 1 would be to distribute. This first set of parentheses, I'm just going to bring it down. But the second set, I have to distribute not just the 3, but the negative 3. I'm going to distribute the negative 3 inside the parentheses here, and I'm going to get minus 3x to the fifth. And then a negative times a negative is a positive 6xy. Then I look for things that I can combine. 4x to the fifth minus 3x to the fifth is 1x to the fifth. You don't need to write the 1. And then 2xy plus 6xy is just 8xy. And I can't combine those. Those don't have the same ending, so that would be my final answer there. The next one, you always want to make sure you're identifying the sign between the parentheses. Am I adding? Am I subtracting? Am I multiplying? Most students will get the addition ones correct, like the number 1 up here. This one with minus signs, just make sure you know that minus sign has to distribute to all the terms inside the second set of parentheses. Again, the first set, I'm just going to go ahead and bring down. But the second one, I'm going to distribute the negative inside of here. So it'd be minus 6x squared. It would be minus 5x. And then it would be positive 6. That negative sign is flipping all of them. Then I just look to combine like terms. 12x squared minus 6x squared is 6x squared. Negative 3x minus 5x is negative 8x. And then 1 plus 6 is 7. And then you can't combine any of those. So that's addition, that's subtraction. Then we get into multiplication. Remember, when you are multiplying two binomials together, when I say binomial, that means two terms, right? You have 6x and minus 3. That's a binomial. Over here, we have a binomial. This right here, this was a trinomial because it has 3 terms. So just some vocab that you might hear me say. Well, I know some of your teachers teach you to FOIL. I don't like to use the word FOIL. I like to just think of it as we are distributing. We need to distribute 6x to 2x and 1, so we're just multiplying. 6x times 2x. Now be careful, it's 12x squared. When you are multiplying, remember you're adding the exponents, so it's different than addition. Addition, the ending stays the same. Multiplying, you have to add the exponents. So 12x squared, then plus 6x, then distribute negative 3 inside of here. So it'd be negative 6x, and then negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And then we combine, so the 6x's cancel out. 12x squared minus 3. Again, these are things that you should have seen. Okay, one or two more. So sometimes you'll get a binomial and you'll see it squared. And I've talked about this a little bit a couple classes ago, but remember, when you have plus or minus signs inside the parentheses, you cannot take this exponent and put it inside the parentheses. You are not allowed to do that. Just like, if I said x plus 3 squared, this is not x squared plus 9. That is not the case. You cannot distribute the 2 anytime you see plus or minus signs in the parentheses. Instead, you need to put it twice. So 2x minus 5y, 2x minus 5y, and then do what you did on the previous example. Double distribute. Distribute 2x to both terms. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 5y, well, multiply the numbers first, so negative 10. And then x times y, we just write xy. Right here, negative 5y times 2x is negative 10xy again. I just like to put it in alphabetical order. And then negative 5y times negative 5y is positive 25y squared. Then I have to combine my like terms in the middle. So 4x squared. So I can combine these, but again, the ending stays the same. It would be minus 20xy. You need the same ending to add and subtract, but it stays the same. Plus 25y squared. All right. So I think that should be pretty good to get you started on your assignment. I think you'll find out pretty quickly if you have a grasp on this stuff or not. If not, then please reach out, ask questions. We always got to be asking. Can't fall behind, okay? And I'll be there for you. I'll respond to your emails and your Canvas messages, and we'll get it all taken care of. See ya.